Now, back to the Big Dumb Fun Show.
Back on the Big Dumb Fun Show. We are live and online at BigDumbFunShow.com. Friend, fan, follow us on Facebook, MySpace, YouTube, Twitter, Eventful, Reverb Nation, Google Plus, and the Tumblr.
My name is Vankman. There's Aaron Gnurk.
On the board.
And Kelly Phillips Erb, the tax girl, on the phone. Kelly, welcome back to the Big Dumb Fun Show tonight.
Thanks for having me.
You're one of our favorite tax interviews every
She's
year.
Our only tax interview every year.
It's
been like 5 years. We talked with her before.
You can't tell her that, though. She's going to strive to be
Forbes.
the biggest.
I mean, she might have been writing some big-time articles on Times, but she wasn't as famous as she is now.
That's right. You are very famous
and neither
now.
are we.
Well, she's actually branching out. Kelly, I was actually checking out some videos of you on YouTube. These are not those videos. Gonna close that window. No, this is the videos of you giving it's kind of just like you sitting around giving advice. Are you going to continue to do that? Is that a new medium for you?
Yeah, you know what? I have this great friend in Philly, Rob Cates, who suggested that we try video, and I had always been kind of hesitant to do it, and we did it. It was a lot of fun. We actually were in a studio and did it, and it was fun. And I actually did some subsequent videos for Forbes, actually in New York in their studio as well. So I don't know. Video is weird for me. Actually, I love radio. Radio is fun. I think it's a different interaction. Mm-hmm. Video is so strange because it's so static. There's not that interaction.
I've told Gnurk many a time that I am radio the whole way. There's no way that I will allow a camera in here whatsoever because it creeps me out.
Did
there's no way.
Camera's on you.
What's that?
Did you see this camera's on you?
Oh, that's what that is.
There's this other camera on you. Did you have a script when you did the video, or were you, much like in radio, you could actually have some printed material in front of you you could talk from, and no one would know that you're doing that, where if you're in a video setting, you maybe have a teleprompter, or you know what you're going to talk about.
Yeah, we didn't have a prompter. Basically, we just kind of kicked around some topics ahead of time, like I was going to do one on charitable, one on medical, whatever, and sometimes I would get prompted off screen, like if we were missing time, they would say, say something else about IRAs, and so I would say, and obviously it gets edited, but it was mostly just me talking about tax. Actually, for all that people joke about it, I find it fascinating. I find tax policy fascinating, so it's pretty easy for me to do. It's just a matter of making it entertaining, I guess. On screen, I think it's just harder because, again, there's no interaction.
Maybe wear a clown nose next time. That would be kind of cool. No. People are listening to it, and they're like, what is it?
They did try to make me wear a doctor's jacket. And
I
drew the line at that. I'm like, no.
But you're an attorney, so, why wouldn't you do something like snakeskin boots?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that would be awesome. No, I don't litigate. I'm not that kind of lawyer, so I kind of avoid the whole snakeskin image.
Oh, okay, neither do I.
Now, I've just gone to taxgirl.com, which does, of course, forward over to Forbes.com/site/Kelly Phillips Erb, and you had posted up here today, 11 hours ago, 11 ways to tap retirement cash early. Now, I'm interested in that, but I don't have any retirement cash.
Yeah,
actually, that one's not mine. The funny thing about the way that appears is that the other article is mine, and that got linked on a gallery.
Ugh.
Oh.
I did the one about, President Obama has, in his budget proposal that he's going to be mentioning in a couple of days, he has this proposal to cap IRAs because of a lot of people responding to Mitt Romney's incredible, IRA account numbers that kind of shocked folks. So he has this in his proposal, this cap. And so I wrote that story, and the one that you're referring to actually got linked in a gallery.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Forbes likes to link to other posts when they're relevant.
Kelly, what is the cap on an IRA? I thought it was $5,000 a year.
Well, see, it is for most people, but it can change depending on what kind of IRA it is. So for self-employed people and some other folks who might invest in a simple IRA, it's called a simple IRA or a SEP, S-E-P IRA, you can actually invest up to $50,000 a year. So, because we all have that kind of cash just laying around.
So that's a relief.
Exactly, but even so, what they're talking about is capping it at $3 million for lifetime, and which of course would affect very few people. The idea is that because it's tax deferred, when you put money away in your IRA, you're not going to pay money on it on the growth for a while. The idea is to kind of, if they cap it, they figure more money will kind of be floating around subject to tax. So that's the idea.
I think it's all. I mean, I don't know. I haven't really looked into this, but I figure there's.
You have retirement going into a fund, right?
401k is tax free until you pull it out, right? And IRA is the other way around. Is that correct?
No. Well, no. It's sort of the same. Well, it depends on what kind of IRA you have, because now you have a bunch of different flavors. A Roth, when you take it out, you actually tax it ahead of time. You pay the tax on it ahead of time, and then when you pull it out, it's tax-free. With an IRA, you get a deduction when you put it in, but the gross tax deferred, and you do pay on the gross when you pull it out.
Let me ask you this: at the end of the year, it was Super Bowl Sunday. I got rid of a lot of crap. I took it to the Goodwill. And they gave me a tag, and they said, "Here you go." And the tag had nothing on it. They're like, just fill it out yourself. So how can that help me by saving up these Goodwill tags that they won't fill up? There's no telling what I gave them. I just make it up. Can I actually use that to my advantage?
Well, you could. It depends. The reason that Goodwill and Salvation Army and folks like that don't fill those out in front of you, although they usually ask you to fill them out in front of them, is that, quite frankly, it's a staffing issue. They just don't have time to sit around while you add up your beer can collection. And,
How did you know? How did you know?
Well,
it was actually
has one of
those hats that you cut into make with beer cans.
Yeah, that was nice. I had to get rid of it.
But one of the problems is that obviously people could say that the sofa that they donated that was really nothing that you could give away on the street corner was actually worth $200. There are threshold amounts, $250. Actually, if you donate more than $250, you have to have a different level of documentation. So the reason they're allowing you to do that is because, no offense to whatever you threw out or donated, but it wasn't treasures, to them. So it didn't hit that $250 mark.
I disagree.
Notices.
This was a one of a kind fingernail clipping collection that I had been saving up for years.
Well, see, that would be different because collections are actually subject to different, valuable collections would be subject to different rules, and you would need to have that appraised by a fingernail clipping appraiser.
You know what, Kelly, I always like speaking with you, and I think it's so funny how the more you know about your taxes, the more you can get away with. I know I have friends that they just get an awesome return year after year, and and he's just an expert. Well, if you drive over 25 miles, then you can claim all your mileage, and you can do all this. And if you buy toilet paper at this store, you get to deduct. And they just know all the ins and outs. And I'm just like, here, I don't want to mess with this anymore. Give me any refund that you can, or have me pay anything that I have to pay. So I think that your blog is really good for folks like me out there that aren't very well versed in the tax profession, but maybe there's a couple helpful tips and tricks, like you said in your video, to those tax places that pop up. That those might be good; they may give you a good deal, but you should always go with a firm that's going to be there year round in case something pops up.
Right. I mean, I personally believe that because I can't tell you how many folks have come in what I do at my office is I do a lot of tax compliance work, so I help people out of jams, that they've gotten themselves into. And inevitably it was, somebody that popped up on a street corner and put out a sign one day and called themselves a tax preparer and told them, you don't really have to go to college to claim an education credit. We can still give you that money back. And they believed them, or they wanted to believe them, and they later got into trouble. And then when they go back to figure out how to get out of trouble, the person's already packed up and gone.
Yeah.
And I will say, I think it's H&R Block that's doing those commercials, which I do find a little stroke of genius. The ones where the guy's like the plumber, and they say, "Didn't you just do our taxes last week?" I think that's a great commercial because I do think that there is, a significant risk that you run when you turn over, especially you're turning over your financial information. In some cases, you're giving folks your bank account numbers, for direct deposit and that kind of stuff. And, it's if you don't trust the person and they're only there on the weekends after 6 and, during the day it's a nail salon, I would worry because you're giving them some pretty significant financial information.
Yeah, Kelly,
Plus,
thank
they
you.
probably don't know what they're doing.
Thank you so much again joining us tonight on the Big Dumb Fun Show. The website is taxgirl.com, where you can that'll forward over the Forbes site. I appreciate you every year giving us the skinny about what's going on in the tax world, because believe it or not, Gunurk and I, not geniuses when it comes to taxes, women, cars, really pretty much everything. Would you consider yourself an expert on anything, Gunnar?
You know what I'm an expert on? Booking really great guests.
Absolutely,
Kelly
you are.
Phillips Erb, taxgirl.com, one of the best guests. Happy to have her every year.
And
Hope to talk with her again next year.
My favorite tax guest.
Thank you.
Kelly, thank you very
I look forward to
much.
this every year, honestly.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks, you too. Bye.
As I watch through the doorway, such a helpless feeling. You got your bags and suitcase packed. I guess it's time you meet